Hello everyone, and welcome back to the penultimate episode of Eternal Darkness, at least for now. So for the rest of the game, we will be playing as our gal, Alex. As we already know, the mansion is infested with demons! So I think it's time to take out the trash. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to change my mind about adding in the unlockable ending. There are quite a few things that I would like to show off in this game. And who knows, I might want to revisit this game at some point. This is what you get for invading my home! You dick! That decision is not final yet, but I think the normal ending would be good enough. So we get another puzzle with lights. I guess this is what we learned from Mike's chapter. It's a little different, but the first time I did this, it was kind of annoying. Once I figured out what I was doing, not such a big deal. For some reason, I thought you could only move it left and right. I didn't realize you could move it up and down. Don't ask me why I thought that. Don't ask me why Alex isn't activating the last one of these. I know it's over here. There we go. Wasting valuable time when our shield is up. Not that I can't cast it again. Ooh. So we already know this house is on top of that. I guess it's a hidden city? Kind of weird it would be in Rhode Island. It would be interesting if these gods had some sort of a Native American heritage. My God, somebody's at the door. Who could it be? Well, they ran away quickly. At least they had the decency to put the package inside the door. Hopefully they didn't break it like what happened to my computer. Let's see what's inside. We got a statue. And that sword that we picked up last video. This will be pretty much our default weapon for the rest of the game, although I am going to use the revolver on some trappers. We did pick up a shotgun for her, but at the time I was playing this, I forgot I had it. And unfortunately, we are never going to use it. Even worse, I know the perfect spot in this video that I could have used it. Alex gets a lot of toys, but unfortunately, very few opportunities to play with them. That was a bit of ammo that I missed. And I'm just checking in case I missed anything else. No dice? Okay, fine. I don't believe we've seen this room before. Enter the hole. I'd like to enter her hole. Oh, yeah. Wait, she has multiple. I'm going to stop right now. I'm being a perv. Give me a break. It's what I do. This is probably the best time of walking through this corridor. Nothing's here. Nothing's going to bother me. It's just a nice leisurely stroll. This is the room I was talking about last video. If you remember what we had to do in video 10, we get to do that again, except instead of fairly easy to dodge guardians, we have this annoying stuff here that we have to have a shield in order to cross. So at the time that I was talking about it last video, that mechanic was not overused. During this segment, it's overused. I do like this game quite a bit, but I feel like it does stumble at the end. Because not only is that an element, but like before, we have to unlock every one of those passageways. Which means going through every one of these things again. But not before we repair it. Because reasons. So we pick up those 2 items, we enchant it, and place it on one of these pedestals. My issue is there's nothing new, nothing interesting in this chapter. We finally get to play as the character that's kind of our pseudo main character, and we don't really do anything interesting. This is probably some of the most interesting stuff we get to do. It's at least a new puzzle. It's a variation of a puzzle we've had before. But at least it's kind of a new puzzle. And you just place those statues down on those pedestals and voila. The Stargate is activated again. Hooray! She pretty much has max stats, which is cool. But we're doing this again. Now, the puzzles are different. So that's something. A couple of them are actually okay. Not great, but okay. And we have trappers in here. But that gets rid of them nice and quickly. I have experimented a little bit with putting magic on the D-pad. But it can be tough to figure out what spells you're going to need in a given chapter, especially since you might need different levels or different god affiliations for each spell. And ultimately you're going to need more than just 4 spells. What I should have done was put the full shield spell on the D-pad. This room here you have to use Dispel Magic or Reveal Invisible, I can't remember which. I played this on a Wednesday and it's Monday now, so it's been nearly 2 weeks since I played this. Speaking of which, since a couple of videos back when I was talking about the Astros, they did manage to win those games. They actually managed to win that series and are on to the World Series, so if they can just win 4 more games, then it will be great, and you won't hear me shut up about how the Astros are the best team again. Just like after 2017. Of course, by the time this video is posted, that series will already have been decided, which means if they don't win, well, oh god, that's going to be bad. That or I'll just be complaining about it. Except that I'll have the next video done before that series ends. So, as far as this LP is concerned, I will not know how that series ends. Even though that series will be over by the time this video is posted, so as of this LP, I won't know how that series ends. Hey, what do you want me to talk about here? We're just doing the same repetitive shit that we were doing back in Chapter 10. If memory serves me, there were 9 of these things, which on the first time going through was too much. And now we have to go through it again, which is pretty annoying. So far we haven't had anything too big to deal with. There are not very many enemies in these areas. you'll notice I'm not even using the invisible spell because there's no need. We get some trappers and that's about it for the most part. There are a couple of horrors where we will need to use that spell that makes them fight each other. But that's about it. I don't feel like this game really brings back all the skills and abilities that we've picked up throughout the game to see how much you remember from playing the game, which I feel like any good final dungeon should do. But this, well, technically the final dungeon is one we've already been in. And I believe here I just brought up the charge magic spell. I forget what it's actually called. And I picked purple because that should recharge all three effects over time: magic, sanity, and health. If I weren't going to go with purple, I would probably just go with blue for magic. And this is just so that as I use magic, at least I'll get a little bit back. We need to go with the blue trapper here. This is the only time I've noticed where the color for the trapper actually matters. And I believe it's a red zombie will be the next one. These are the final times we will be using these spells. And you can see this thing is slow as shit. You can hit the run button. Alex, calm down. It's okay. I know all of this is cray-cray, but you'll be alright. Booyakasha. 2/3 of the puzzle done. Don't worry, I will not say Neato Speedo. Anyways, this is the only time you will see me use this spell. I talked about it a couple videos back. Yes, game, I know. I'm just trying to solve the puzzle. This one is kind of cool, at least it's something different. So I don't mind this room. Most of these areas just feel like repetition, except at least we don't have guardians in here this time. So that's something. So the next video will be just the final boss and final cutscenes. I really wanted to show all the different gods, at least show one scene with each of them. But I'm not replaying a bunch of this game just to show those scenes. I kind of wish I had played this under the blue god, Elioth. Mainly because every playthrough I've ever seen of this game, everybody either picks the green or the red. So that might have been something different. This is something else that's a little different. You have to use your sneak in order to get by here. I don't remember what happens if you don't. No, we will not play the Pink Panther sneaking music. Run, Alex. So you can see already just how repetitive that is. I really should have put that shield spell on my D-pad. We're making our way through this fairly quickly, and this is not a very long video, especially for this playthrough. But I wish they had thought of something a little bit more interesting for the final chapter. It is kind of fitting that she has to come here and do all this since this is under her family home, even though it was never her home, as far as I know. Actually, maybe it was. If her grandfather took care of her after her parents died, then I guess she probably would have lived there for a while. Though I could see him not want her living there either. Bunch of trappers. Just use your magic attack. This sword is pretty cool. You can actually throw it at enemies, and it'll come back to you. You do that the same way you would do a normal attack. It's just if you lock onto an enemy that you can't swipe at, she'll throw it. A couple of these times I run out of shield. Which isn't pleasant. Okay, it's more of a minor annoyance than anything else, since I can just refill her health at any time. I kind of like this room better with all the murky stuff on the ground. It actually makes it a little easier for me to see in this room. And it feels like there's less stuff in there. I guess I can't complain too much about there only being trappers in here, because if there were not trappers, I would just be using the invisible spell and sneaking around everything. Don't worry about using ammo if you want to fight anything, because you will not be using your guns for the final fight. I believe you can actually, but we won't need it since we have this sword. Even more trappers. How did these things get in here considering Gramps let off a magic bomb to kill everything down here? It seems weird that anything's alive down here after that. I guess somebody left a back door open somewhere. Trappers all getting in. A couple of horrors. The final boss. That's right, I guess the final boss would have to get down here somewhere. Probably no surprise who it is that we're gonna fight. Every time with this. Every time. Cast your magic spell, walk across this path, try to think of something else to talk about, because this is really repetitive, and I think we've got past all the interesting puzzles. The only two that I thought were kind of cool were the one where you have to sneak, and the one where you have to use your create zombie, trapper, and horror spells. Most of the rest of these we really don't have to do anything except kill some trappers, if even that. So, how ya been? How y'all doing? No news on the computer front. I'm hoping I can get it repaired, and I'm hoping that there's nothing actually broke besides the outside of it. Okay, this room isn't awful either. I had to mute it, but I was a little bit confused the last time we were in this room. We have to perform a spell to get rid of these 3 seals. And when we were in here before, I was thinking that was what we had to do then, but I was confusing that with this time through here. I'm not sure how you do this if you don't have the purple magic. The purple magic will target all 3. You just use your biggest spell. And I'm pretty sure it's either magic attack or dispel magic, but I can't remember. That's the thing I like about doing commentary after doing a video. I still remember what happened. Usually by the end of LPs, I get on a roll where I'm just trying to play the game and get everything done. So you end up with a situation like this where I just don't remember everything as well as I should. Unlike the previous videos, at least this video I edited today, so I have a much better idea of what's going on. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. I am actually quite hungry right now. I have decided because of a Let's Play that I watched a video of earlier today, I'm going to have spaghetti with ground beef. You know we're in trouble if I'm talking about food I'm gonna eat later. Out of the gang on the Discord, I'm not the only one having troubles. I won't get into what those folks are going through at the moment, because that's their personal business, and I'm not one to spread people's business. There are trappers in here, so be ready to use a magic attack. And of course, more of this stuff, which means another shield is necessary. I like this game, but one thing that I don't care for is how many times you have to go in and out of the menu. I'm sure the better you get to know this game, the more you can tailor your shortcut menu of spells based on what you think you're going to need in a given chapter. Dispel magic there. But when you're playing this game for the first time, you don't really know what all you're going to need. I admit I screwed up by not putting the shield spell on my quick spell list, so I could just use the D-pad to use it. Come on, Alex. I promise I'll heal you up if you just get through that door. You can do it! I believe in you! Alright. We are done with most of these. I believe we have 1 or 2 more left. Actually, that could be the last one. Sweet. It would have been nice to be in a new area. I think it would be one thing if we did this at the beginning of the game as her grandfather. That would mean dealing with the Guardians as you're just getting familiar with the game, which would not be fun. But some space between these chapters would be nice besides just one. I know I'm complaining too much, but I really don't like this chapter. I feel like Alex deserved better. So this one isn't so bad because at least we get to use a spell that we've only used once to this point. I think it's going to take a couple of times in order for it to go through. So we don't even get to engage in the combat here, we just sit back and watch them do it. Which is kind of cheap, which means I kind of like it to a point. But I wish we got to do something in this chapter. And out of sheer boredom, I decided to fight this thing. I could have ran from it. And I'm going to run out of ammo, and I don't have time to reload. Not good. And I decide to equip the sword, so at least it's magically charged. She will not target its head, though. She just keeps targeting his arm. So we're going to do a tactical retreat, and I come back to finish him off. Vengeance! You dick! To be fair, I instigated this conflict. But I also finished it. Suck it! But I just wanted something to do in this video. Besides walking around and performing the same magic spells. Huzzah, an extra room where we have to walk around with a shield. I noticed this with Dead Space as well. It's a good game, although it does have its flaws. But that game had a poor final chapter as well. So we're going to go through this door. I'm going to save my game and prep for the final battle. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time with the final video of Eternal Darkness.